If we could please start by everyone standing for the presentation of the color.
On guard, 10. Carry. Colors. Host of colors. March. Ready. Host. Raise and arms. Order. Arms. Post. March. Detail. Halt. Fall out.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Department of Military Affairs and Public Safety, I'd like to thank you for attending our Corrections Day today and this ceremony. We're particularly thankful that almost all of this year's recipients were able to join us, along with family members and our leadership throughout the Division of Corrections and Rehabilitation. Corrections has to be among the most daunting professions. Its public safety mission is as crucial as any here in West Virginia. All too often, though, it seems among the most underappreciated, or at least poorly understood. That is one reason why the morale and well-being of the men and women of corrections has been so important to Secretary Sandy. You know this if you've gotten an attaboy memo or phone call from him about your work on behalf of corrections. You also know this if you've ever enjoyed a Christmas cookie baked by his wife that you received during one of his surprise visits to our facilities over the holidays. His belief in that importance is also reflected in the Freedom Awards for Distinguished Service. Secretary Sandy first envisioned these last year to recognize employees for performances that exceed normal expectations regarding their duties and responsibilities. Before we proceed, I'd like the Secretary and Commissioner Dividend to come forward just to give some brief remarks before we actually recognize those 10 honorees. Oh yes, and everyone else, please be seated. Thank you.
Let me look, is it good morning or afternoon? Okay, it's still good morning. Welcome everybody. Yesterday was a great day. We were in Glenville and we had our graduates, 47 people trained to go out into those facilities and help protect West Virginia. What a great day. And those that were involved with the training of those 47 individuals, could you please stand up here, please? Thank you for another job well done. Also, I'd like to comment on the diversity. What a great, we need diversity in our workforce, and yesterday was also a great day to see the minorities that were there graduating, and they can be the leaders of tomorrow. And those of you who were there yesterday also, I asked for people with their years of service to stand up, and the people over 30, 25, 20, 15, and 10. And I did that for a reason. I wanted to see those young recruits see that the future is near. We will have substantial retirements that will be occurring over the next few years, and the opportunity to advance with the new Division of Corrections and Rehabilitation, it's never been so great. The pay that will be available for the superintendents and the upper management, the pay for our officers. Imagine less than 24 months ago to be able to say that we're close to being able to increase the pay by $10,000 going from 20 to 30. That's outstanding. And there's so many people in the audience. Elaine Harris, would you please stand up, please? Elaine Harris is the union rep for the correction officers, and the work that she did to help the governor's office get the pay increase. We thank you, Elaine, for all those hours and the miles on your feet. We thank you. But what is the freedom pin? And bottom line, like many good ideas, the freedom pin was taken from my days as a federal agent. And I would like to tell you a story. We have Jeff James here, and Jeff and I volunteered, and we were the second and third people to get off a C-130 in Baghdad. And we were at the CPA Palace, and there was a big banner, and it said, "The first free oil shipment for the people of Iraq." And the lady that Jeff was interviewing, she took her hand and she started crying, and she put her hand on freedom. And she goes, "My people does not know what that means." Remember that, Jeff? And that's why we have the freedom pin, because what you do, what the correction officers do in West Virginia, is you protect freedom. Protect freedom. You make it so when a drug dealer is convicted or a murderer is convicted, that you maintain that there is freedom for our people, that they can live their lives without worrying that this individual is going to escape and cause harm. So there's a history behind the freedom pin, and the history is, as I've told you, and what is so important, that we do not forget the individuals last year that received the freedom pin, and these fine men and women here that are going to receive it today, that in their personnel file, and when they go back to the office, when they go home, that we have done our job to tell them that we care. And I thank everyone for coming.
I just want to echo the Secretary's congratulations to all of you. What I'm especially proud of is to see the diversity up here, and that people from all walks of the correctional field have demonstrated the worthiness of winning this award. And also thank you to those people who nominated these individuals, and the face of corrections that you all are portraying reflects on all of us and reflects on the agency, and all of us are very proud to have you here. We're very proud to be your co-workers and your friends, and we congratulate you on everything that you do and continue to do for corrections and for public safety and for the mission with which we're all charged. So thank you all and congratulations.
Thank you, Commissioner, and thank you, Mr. Secretary. If the 9 individuals present will please stand along with our leadership. I will explain each award and identify the recipient and give a little narration about what led to the award being earned by the individual. Once I give the individual's name, if he or she would please proceed to in front of the table here. The Secretary will hand you a freedom pin, and then the Commissioner will hand you the certificate. We begin with our correctional officers. In the main category, we recognize an officer at the Salem Correctional Center. This officer's diligence helped uncover a scheme to smuggle contraband during an inmate visitation. This individual has also shown natural leadership and a willingness to apply skills he's gained earlier in life for the benefit of corrections. An example is when he supervised the inmate work crew to clear the perimeter fence of overhanging timber, while also placing razor wire to enhance security at the facility. This award goes to Correctional Officer 2, Matthew Duncan.
Obviously, we're organized.
There, right there.
brief explainer, we are very fortunate to have with us Mitch Sutton from the Governor's Communications Office. The Governor's Office has another example of the Governor's support for corrections is videotaping this ceremony, taking pictures, and both will be posted online later. We also honor our correctional officer in our juvenile facilities. This officer has routinely impressed his supervisors and risen to the rank of lieutenant. Those who have served with him say he is a consistent mentor who keeps his team motivated and committed. This award goes to Correctional Officer 5 William Reed of the Robert Schill Juvenile Center. Our next category is community-based facility employees. This honoree is also known for her mentoring and leadership. She is a certified recovery coach who teaches mental health first aid. Her efforts on behalf of her youths include driving them to and from AA meetings. Her commitment was also shown when she convinced the mother of a juvenile in her care to seek addiction treatment. This award goes to Jacqueline Martin, Senior Corrections Program Specialist, Wood County Youth Reporting Center. We turn now to Facility Superintendent. This honoree has accepted a special assignment overseeing the Stevens Correctional Center. That's the county-owned contract facility in McDowell. His efforts there have earned him the respect of his employees and peers. He also distinguished himself during an October visit by Commissioner Gividen and other corrections leadership. He calmly and effectively led the response to a possible fentanyl exposure at the facility. It turned out to involve a synthetic narcotic. This honoree is Interim Superintendent Craig Roberts. In the category of field support staff, it may be no surprise that we had in this category the largest number of nominations. The keen eye and quick thinking of our honoree allowed her facility to intercept and attempt to deliver several bags of illegal drugs by throwing them from a vehicle. This honoree has also gone above and beyond as a certified criminal justice addictions professional, a certified cognitive behavior intervention substance abuse trainer, and she is the elected secretary of the West Virginia Association of Alcoholism and Drug Abuse Counselors. This honoree is on track to become president-elect of that organization this fall. The honoree is Melissa Richmond, Unit Manager, Beckley Correctional Center. We also honor a staff member of Corrections Central Office. This individual has been tireless in the task of getting the booking systems up, running, and integrated at our emerging network of short-term holding facilities. This has been particularly true at the Wood County Holding Center, where this honoree has put in a lot of extra hours to ensure smooth and accurate intakes and releases. This award goes to Jonathan Huffman, Corrections Program Manager 1 in the IT department. The honoree in our investigator category could not attend today, but I will talk about Investigator 2, Lucas Roper, the recipient. He is being recognized for doggedly working a large caseload as the sole investigator based in the Eastern Panhandle. Investigator Roper has developed multiple high-profile cases, including several, and one involving an inmate death, inmate assaults, contraband smuggling, and one unfortunate case involving a compromised correctional officer. On behalf of Investigator Roper, Investigation Director Jeff James has agreed to accept the pin and the award on his behalf. In the category for parole officers, This honoree went above and beyond when he heard gunfire outside the Beckley parole office. He responded quickly and decisively. Our officer helped disarm and secure a male suspect. He helped provide first aid to a shooting victim and then assisted on scene and responding law enforcement. The award goes to Parole Officer 1, Robert Soban. We now turn to special operations. These individuals routinely, successfully, and without fanfare accomplish some of the most dangerous duties in this already challenging profession. Our honoree distinguished himself by successfully overseeing such assignments as the transfer of the Anthony Correctional Center inmates, a mass transport of suspects apprehended during a task force operation in Parkersburg, and for supporting a campaign rally by President Trump in Wheeling. The honoree is Sergeant Eric Herron, Correctional Officer 4. And as a side note, we're grateful to the officials in the city of Wheeling and its police department who honored Sergeant Herron and others who participated in that support assignment during a recent public safety ceremony in Wheeling, I think within the last week or so. Our final category is what we call the Special Recognition category. We initially dubbed it the Gung Ho Award, and that probably is fitting because if I recall correctly, the honoree served in the Marines. This officer had worked a 12-hour shift and was returning from a hospital transport. His state vehicle was struck by a truck on US 50. This was on a stormy day in September 2015. The result was a horrific crash. Our officer still has no memory of it. Weather had contributed to the wreck and also prevented a medical helicopter from airlifting him to the hospital. He suffered multiple severe injuries, and even after multiple surgeries, some of these injuries are permanent. As a result, this officer could very likely have obtained a lifetime disability. But if you were to ask him, he'd tell you about the principles with which he was raised. Those principles, that upbringing, compel him to see things through, to complete the mission, to leave nothing unfinished. So, this officer persevered. With pure determination, he fought his way back to duty status. On that incredibly difficult road, he has inspired his fellow officers, his leaders at corrections and DMAPs, and pretty much anyone else who has heard his story. The special award has been earned by Eric Dodson, Correctional Officer 2, North Central Regional Jail. Again, on behalf of the Department of Military Affairs and Public Safety and its Division of Corrections Rehabilitation, we're very grateful that you were able to attend Corrections Day at the Legislature and this ceremony. Please now stand for the retirement of the colors, and when that's finished, march.
Honeyguard, that's it. Carry arms. Forward, march. Stay. Retire the colors. Post. Raise and arms. Order, arms. March. Post. Fall out.
Thank you again, everyone.